Hello, welcome to the next video on my property projects diary. I am in Samuel Leeds Academy, and one of the things I'm trying to do is invest my money in good properties and good deals. Now, one of the things that happens when you're in the academy is you do get an awful lot of pictures from other academy members who've got good ideas for businesses they want to start, things they want to invest in, and they will pitch you their ideas. So what I thought is, in order to give a really good experience, not a good experience, I want to give a good view to people watching my YouTube channel of exactly what it's like to be in the academies. I thought I'll record one of these pictures. So last Tuesday, Min, who is a fellow academy member who I happen to run the Lewisham Inner Circle with, he messaged me and he said he's interested in pitching me, and so we met up and he kindly agreed to let me record the pitch and put it on my YouTube channel. So after this is a pretty much unedited recording of the pitch, just to give you a good feel as to my experience in the academy. Enjoy. I'm going to connect. So so Min, you've come to see me
hi.
about. You messaged me, and so I've just asked if you can record this so that we can put this on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, of course.
The reason that I wanted to do that is, in my experience coming to the academy, I've been pitched a lot of times by a lot of students in different ways, and I want to record kind of my experience of the academy. So I thought, what I'll do is let's film this conversation, this interaction, because I think you've got a proposal for me.
Yes, I do.
And I'm kind of interested just to share this on my YouTube channel with people, and that's why. So just to let you know where I'm at before we start with investment, because obviously I've come into the academy. My aim is to invest. Initially, I want to kind of be in charge, control, find my own stuff, control my own investment. But obviously I look at other students coming to me with potential. Now, there's been a few conversations which have been not great pitches, let's say.
I see.
And I was quite, because we all want each other to succeed in the academy.
Of course.
It's really important. It's like you're Lewisham Inner Circle leader, I'm Lewisham Inner Circle leader. And, I think everyone at the academy's done a lot to try and help me succeed. And I kind of want, so I wouldn't be wasting your time. So
absolutely,
listen to a pitch. But one of the things is, after a few of these pitches, I kind of get a bit they're disappointed if I say no. And I'm kind of disappointed, thinking, well, that was like not a great pitch. It wasn't a great idea. I'm not entirely sure how they could be making money out of it. So I went to one of my friends. He runs a business, and I said, "How do you deal with investors?" Because I keep talking to these kind of people. And what he said to me, he says, "If someone wants my money, they better have their shit together."
Yeah.
That's literally what he said. I think he's a mild-mannered guy. He never swears.
Of course.
And he was like, quite. He said, "No, in business, I've worked hard to take this money." He said, "They have a good pitch together." And it made me kind of think, because I felt bad when I said no to someone who was asking me for £150,000. It's like, of course, why am I feeling bad about that? They haven't convinced me. You need to convince me.
Of course.
So anyway, so you messaged me and you've got a proposal. So I thought, let's come and I'll listen to your proposal. And if you could give it to me now, do you mind if I take notes?
Yes, of course. Yes, please do. Well, first of all, Robert, thank you for considering my proposal today, and very happy to be on video. As you know, I am on the Samuel Leeds Academy as well, just as yourself, and I got to say it's been quite a journey. It's very different from my day-to-day profession as a doctor, now soon to be a GP trainee. And property is not something that I have done before. So it's taken a lot of time and effort for me to sort of learn and get my head around everything. And the proposal I've got today is, I want to before I even get to the proposal, like why am I in, I would like to just tell you why I'm in property and what I'm trying to get out of property, if that's okay with you. So being in the NHS as a doctor, especially as a resident doctor in training, the pay and working conditions have not been great and have been eroding, if that's the right word, or getting worse since the since in the early 2010s when like new contracts came into force and capped our pay essentially. So I've been losing a lot of pay to inflation essentially over the years. And one of the best ways to combat that, well, one of the ways that doctors are combating is by striking. I don't know if you've noticed, but you know, junior doctors or resident doctors now they're called, been striking for better pay for months and months and years actually. And I think so far they haven't really got anywhere really significant anyway. So I thought the best way for me to help myself financially so I can focus on my job of looking after patients and not have to worry too much about my pay, my own bills and stuff is property. And that brings me to my proposal to you today, which is a rent-to-rent property deal that I have found in Orpington, which is where I live. It's very close to me.
Where did you say it was?
In Orpington. Yeah, BR6 postcode.
Yeah.
And as you know, Robert, yourself, a rent-to-rent deal can create not entirely passive, but a very good sort of background income, cash flow every month, which I can then use to sort of help myself focus on my job so I don't have to strike and lose pay. And I am looking to pick up my very first rent-to-rent, hopefully later this week. And I am looking to raise finance for that, and that is why I'm here. And essentially, if I tell you a little bit more about the property, it is a 4-bedroom house in Orpington, about 10-minute walk away from Orpington train station, so relatively nearby. And it is a property where the landlady actually is very keen on company lets. It didn't require much convincing actually, because she is very familiar with company lets, having done them previously with other companies, and she's very keen for myself and my JV partner, who I'll tell you about shortly, to take this on. And so she can have no void periods and have all the benefits of a company let from the landlady's perspective. And we are looking to sign initially an agreement of 3 years with a break clause of 6 months. Just in case, to protect our business, obviously, in case it doesn't go well. The rent for the place that she was initially asking for was $2,700 a month. Now that unfortunately does not work. So with back and forth negotiations over the last 2 weeks or so, we managed to actually agree on to bring it down to $2,500, which is going to be fixed for the first year, with a minimal increase of 3 to 4% next year, capping at $2,600 in the third year onwards. So that's the agreement in terms of numbers we have come to. And the reason why I think this rent-to-rent is going to work very well is for 2 reasons. Number one, I am very familiar with the Orpington/Bromley area, having lived here for a couple of years now. And I have successfully packaged and sold 1 2-bedroom deal actually. And I know it works. And I know a lot of other company-led properties within and around Orpington as well as Bromley, which are being run by both Academy members and other non-Academy members as a company-led business model. And for this particular one, having looked at the comparables in the area, we would mainly be competing with 3 beds because there aren't that many 4 beds available within Orpington itself. However, even if we look at the nightly rates that 3 beds charge, and if we were to charge something slightly higher than that, we still manage to at least break even around. Hello.
Oh, sorry, this is my mum. So I'm
hello.
recording.
Nice to meet you. I'm Minho, one of Robert's Academy colleagues.
I'm recording on YouTube at the moment. And basically, Min has come to pitch me a deal. So.
I'm sure you can edit this out.
Sure, yeah, I can edit. Let me stop it now. We can. Cool. So I don't know how that's going to edit together. Just to explain to the video, I come here quite a lot. My mum just came in, and so we're going to cut that bit out.
No worries. Lovely lady.
Yeah, we can continue on.
Where was I actually? I was talking about the numbers, didn't I? Yeah. So the numbers are going to be to begin with $2,500 a month. In the third year, it's going to cap out at $2,600. And the 4 beds in the area, there aren't that many, but they are within sort of a mile or 2 radius. There are 2 or 3 which charge somewhere between sort of $230, $240, all the way up to about $290. and they seem to have a good occupancy, at least 80% throughout the year as well. So that is the maximum that we would be able to charge, and it works out very well, very profitable, easily break even, actually slightly below 50% at those numbers. However, we are, in terms of data points available, there are many more 3 beds, at least within Orpington, that is available, which obviously the nightly rates are slightly lower. But even if we charge those lower rates, the numbers actually work out very, very well. And the reason I think and believe it's going to work is for the local market. I think it's very suitable. There are 2 local markets that I can target. One are the contractors. I don't know how familiar you're with contractors in the Orpington and Bromley area, but there's a lot of construction going on with new buildings and new projects going on in Orpington. They started literally just last year building a 3 new complex of flats, which have lots of contractors coming in and out. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Walnuts Centre in Orpington, but it's a very old, small shopping centre with a gym and wellness centre, which is very out of date, and they have received permission for a massive redevelopment into a large complex of like 300 or 400 flats or something. And that I expect within the next year or so to actually start construction work. So I'm expecting a lot of contractors coming in. In Orpington, we have a large Premier Inn as well, not too far from the property I'm talking about. So in terms of due diligence, I have full confidence that it's going to work, with contractors being our ideal target audience. However, as I explained, the property is also within a very short walking distance to Orpington train station. Now, that gives you the advantage of being able to target short-term stays as well, so tourists and other people who may need to work and commute on a short-term basis to and from central London. As you know, probably from Orpington Station, there is a very fast 15-minute train to London Bridge, 25 minutes to Charing Cross, and another half an hour or so to London Victoria. So it's really good, well situated for working professionals on a short-term basis. Let's say a family who's been posted for a short period of time in London and needs affordable accommodation nearby without having to pay central London prices. That would be another very useful group for us to target. And then any periods like days or something very short term in between, because of the proximity to the train station, I don't have any doubt we'll be able to fill those nights as well. And that is sort of the first reason. In terms of numbers and the target audience, I have full confidence knowing the Bromley area very well, having lived here myself for about 3 years now, and having sold the previous deal, it will work. Secondly, as you know, as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm a full-time doctor, now transitioning to general practice training, and it's also my first rent-to-rent. And obviously, it being my first rent-to-rent, there will be a lot of things for me to learn. There will be a lot of things that I still need to experience and problems that I need to solve on the go. But to help myself with that, this is not a rent-to-rent which I'll be doing entirely on my own. But I am going to be joint venturing on this with Charlie Hawken. I think you know him. You must have met him in the Lewisham Inner Circle a couple of times previously. But he has and operates 3 successful rent-to-rents, 2 of which are in Bromley, which are also 4-bedroom houses with contractors filled up for months now, I believe. And he's got another one in Beckenham, which is actually even more expensive in terms of the monthly rent than the one I'm talking about. And all 3 properties that he operates on SA are working out very, very well for him with great cash flow. And he has always, since getting them for a couple of months ago, always been in profit, never actually been in a loss. So I will be JVing with him on this. I will be putting down some money, which is why I'm proposing this deal to you. And he'll be putting some money down as well for us to get it started, hopefully later this week. And in terms of the JV structure, we are still working it out. However, initially, we have agreed that until my investments are out, it's going to be 50-50, where we will be working together. He will be leading on the listing and the management side of things, and with my assistance, so I can learn from a more experienced property professional. So I don't have to reinvent the wheel essentially, because I have the theoretical knowledge from the academy, but I haven't actually done it. So working together with someone who has done it and has practical experience is going to be great for me, because I'll be learning from him. And until my money is out, the initial investment for which I am proposing to you today, it will be 50-50. And afterwards, once my money is out, then we're going to reduce it further. We're considering either 60-40 or a 70-30 split in his favor. So I'm still in profit and still supporting him in the management, but he will be taking the lead on it.
Who found this deal?
We both did. So Charlie, he found it through Sinclair Hamilton agency, just down the road. And he has had previous rent-to-rents, all his previous rent-to-rents are actually from Sinclair Hamilton, which are, who are very pro-company-led, and they're very happy to consider company-led rents. And they actually found this property, asked Charlie about it, and Charlie, wanting to take on his fourth rent-to-rent, but not being able to actually do it entirely on his own because he already got 3, he proposed to me, do you want to go view this property together with me? And I can show you the viewing of the property, actually. I've got a viewing, video viewing.
Yeah,
I can show you that in a little bit, yeah. But that's that was the gist of it. So we went for a viewing together a couple of weeks ago. We looked at the property. It's actually relatively high spec. It's very clean. Well, because the tenants are still there, it needs a little bit of cleaning, but it requires almost no refurb. There's one broken window, it's like slightly wonky hinges, but we're going to fix that. And the landlady's going to pay for it anyway. We just sent her the invoice, and it's pretty much ready to go. We just need to clean it up, put some furniture in because it's unfurnished. Once we get the keys, hopefully by the end of this week, and it should be up and running as early as next week. And we wanted to maximize the last days of summer, if that makes sense, within August, so we can charge the higher rates and then prepare for the lower rates in autumn and winter coming forward. So that is the summary of the deal. What are your thoughts on that, Robert?
Okay, so I think I've got some questions about the business arrangement
with
the JV partner.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else? I think the deal sounds really good. Do you have anything else that you need to kind of pitch?
I don't think so. I think I mentioned all the important bits.
Yeah.
The numbers are good. It won't be me doing by myself. I'll have support available. We will be JVing together. Location, numbers, everything's excellent. And if need be, I am literally about 10-15 minute walk away from the property. So if something happens, I'm physically actually there to go and solve it.
Okay, so my initial feedback from that pitch is I don't know where I come in, because you haven't mentioned me at all in the pitch.
I see.
So, and that's the thing, because and I think it's quite important. So I've had lots of calls with Simon Tatiana. We've talked about pitching. So what do I need to know as an investor? So as an investor, I want to know. Well, there's two things. Do you want a JV with me, or do you want a loan from me?
Yeah.
And so the difference there is the loan is kind of a fixed return that will come back. And with a loan, it means you take on the risk, and I just get my money back. And whereas a JV is shared risk, shared reward. So that's really critical in the pitch as to what do you and also, so what do you need? So do you need cash? And then kind of what the structure is, what it will come back. Because what I need to do is, okay, am I investing in you? That's kind of one thing. Am I investing in this deal? But you pitched me this deal. So you almost pitched me as if I was investing in the deal.
I see.
But of course, there's a 6 month get out clause, which is great. How are you going to pay me back? Well, you haven't told me how much you need, what you're going to spend it on, why you need it.
Yeah.
So I think you've got, I know you found deals, and the reason we're having this meeting is because I've mentioned to you, you really found a deal.
Yeah.
You can find another deal. And you can do it. So I wasn't aware. So the JV partner is another thing, because when you invest, you look at risk, and you basically balance risk reward. So, you know Noelle from the Academy. When she did her talk in Brighton, she was talking about her first investors. She was giving them 20%, and that's because she was completely unknown. Now I think she gives about 12%, or I don't know, it's exactly 12, but it's lower.
Yeah.
And the reason is she's established, and she can do things like give them charges on her properties, and on that kind of things. And so there's less risk because they're getting a charge for property. So when it's lots of risk, you get a high, you expect a high return, and when there's less risk, you expect a lower return. And then there's the think infrastructure, because if the person bringing the money to the table is getting a fixed return, that's great. But let's assume that you're going to say, Robert, I want a personal loan. I want to say, okay, this deal's great. I'm lending you this money.
Yeah.
If this deal goes wrong, how are you going to pay me back? That's one thing. When are you going to pay me back? Are you going to pay me back in a fixed lump? So with a BRR deal, and you might pitch and say, I want 100k, I will do up this property. When I refinance, I'm going to pay you the whole lot back. That makes sense. If you did that structure on a rent-to-rent, doesn't make so much sense, because after the first 3 months, you should be making money every month, and you don't want to be paying any more interest than you have to. If it's just a loan, you don't want it. So actually, you don't want to pay it all back in a year. You want to pay back and reduce the debt, basically. So and so there was none of that information in the pitch. So do you want to talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Because I thought no, that makes a lot of sense. I thought I would tell you about the deal first, and then get to that. But in terms of what I need from you, the way I was thinking initially anyway, is if I could get it as a personal loan from yourself. In terms of the actual money that the deal needs for it to get started is about £10,000. So I was thinking I could get that amount from you. However, I will not be using all of it to actually get the deal started at the very beginning, because I am JVing with Charlie, and we agreed we'll be putting, in terms of money required, 50-50. So I might be putting down 5, and he's going to be putting down 5. And then I expect within the first 6 months or so for most, if not all, of that five grand to come out, and then I would be in profit. And the reason I have asked for more than the 5, although I only need 5 technically to get started, is keeping in mind that we are getting the winter months coming up as well in a couple of months. So it will, that extra 5,000 I will not need to use all of it, because I am JVing with Charlie 50-50 on it, but it'll allow us a little bit of breathing room, cushion, if you will, within the first 6 months anyway, to keep the deal going, so we can be in profit afterwards, if that makes sense. So in months where, let's say in November or December, if we are in a minus, I share that risk with Charlie, and I can then grab some of the remaining money as like a cushion to keep the deal alive until we are back in profit afterwards, after the bad months, if that makes sense.
So you're expecting to lose money?
I'm not expecting to lose money, but I have learned in the academy from the teachings anyway, how you should not put your entire sort of liquid savings into one deal.
Yes, but if you borrow money from me, you're paying interest on that money.
Yes, I will.
There's a cost of funds. So you're right in that, and that's what I'm thinking, because I've got the money in my account, so there is a buffer. But okay, look, do you want to,
so what I was thinking is, in terms of paying you your money back, because I will be JVing on this with Charlie, the risk will be entirely on myself. Well, at least for the money that I've loaned from you, it'll be entirely on myself. And I was thinking maybe I could pay you back with 12% interest by the end of the year, so in about 12 months' time, so which would amount to £12,000. So that would be £2,000 profit for you, with no risk to you.
Yeah.
Now,
if
it goes well, which I expect it to.
Because you've got the 6-month breakout clause, there's third-party risk with your JV partner.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't go well, what will
So if it doesn't go well, and let's say we have to exercise the breakout clause within 6 months' time, then I would have to pay you back with deals that I will continue to sell, but also probably have to pay back with small cuts from my salary. And the reason I have come to you first instead of exploring other loan options is I am able to take out a personal loan from a bank. However, the interest rate on that is much higher than what what I am proposing to you.
What's the rate?
So the APR is 12.6% over somewhere between 5 to 6 years, which is what I would do, or what I am eligible for with the banks. And the total amount repayable is then going to be at the end something like £16,000 or something. So I will be paying in total.
That's over 6 years.
60% interest, like overall absolute numbers wise.
Okay,
so if I borrow 10, I would have to pay back 16.
You have to borrow that for
yeah.
6 years.
So that was the option, and I can go for it as well and get it started. And the way that would work is if I would have then structure that with the bank in a way so that the monthly income I make from the property exceeds the monthly amount I have to pay back to the bank, then I can cover that debt and still be kind of in profit, if that makes sense. But the risk with that, the downsides of that is obviously the interest rate is a lot higher over time. Secondly,
it's not higher, it's just a longer time.
It is a longer time. So there is that, and also secondly, I do take a bit of a hit on my credit rating and history, because that at the moment, because of all my sort of revolving student debt, isn't great to begin with. So I would then be eroding what little credit history I have. So, but going back to our initial question of how am I going to pay you back if things go south and I have to exercise a 6-month break clause, then I would be able to get a 10K loan from the bank, which I am trying to avoid to get right now, use that money to pay you back, then I'll be okay, because over time, over 5 to 6 years, I can just pay the bank back small amounts every month.
Okay.
So I will still be able to pay you the full amount back by essentially redistributing that loan to someone else.
I'm not convinced with that kind of stuff, because I'm very much, you're offering to pay me 12%. And you have to deal with me. So, because like one of the things with like an investor is that I'll be like I'll be sleeping at night thinking, is Min going to pay me back? How's Min's business going?
Yeah.
The bank gives you the money. You get on with that, and it's quite low. And so it's 12% to me, 12.6% to the bank. For me, I think getting rid of the stress of dealing with Rob, it's like I'd say, that's one. The other thing, so my company that I work for, we go and we get funding, and one of the things our finance officers, they're quite open, they talk to us and they say, we get lots of offers for investors, and they say, we don't want to take too much money from investors right now. You can over-finance your company because you have all the investors on board and you're servicing that interest and that loan. And you said in this deal you need 5K for this one deal. And I'm thinking, credit card, you could. I mean, have you considered just like funding 5K in on this particular one?
You mean from like a credit card?
From there's various ways, but rather than, because you're kind of borrowing in case you need some money, and I've had lots of people approach me borrowing because they find out they need money and they like bought an auction they want to borrow, and I think.
So there is actually
there is a side where yes, it's nice to see that money in the bank, but you're paying for that money, and that's where you've got the cost of money.
So actually, it's interesting you mentioned that, because I have a credit card where I can come up with the 5K right now if I wanted to. But then the way that works is I'd have to check exact numbers, but I can divide that payment over 12 months with my credit card that I've got available. And if I were to take 5K from it, I would probably be paying back roughly 6.5. So that is another way, but obviously that is quite high interest as well. It's more than 20% I will be paying back at the end of the year. Yeah, so if I were to take, let's say, just 5 from you to get it started, and I have to exercise a 6 months break clause, and let's just say I lose all of that 5K, then I still have that option to fall back on and pay you back.
Yeah. So the other kind of initial thing is that I kind of obviously I know Charlie. I didn't know he was involved in this before you came. There's that third party that's doing that JV, and I think with you as a doctor, with your time, I think that there's nothing as part of running this service accommodation that I don't think you can do. In fact, I think you can do it. You can do it all.
You think I can do it all on my own?
Yeah, and so that's one thing. That's why I asked you who found your deal, because I know, because you told me before, that you have found one deal, you have sold one deal, and I think what I mentioned to you before is, do you have the numbers from that deal? Because do you have kind of some feedback? Because that would be really great if you went to whoever you sold it to and said, just saying, I sold that deal to you. I'm trying to do my own rent to rent. I'm pitching to investors. It would be really great if you told me how much you've made from this deal. And I personally, I'd like to see some numbers. Some people, we talk about YouTube, that'd be really great if you had a testimonial on YouTube. But that's something that you did yourself. And I think if you pitch slightly different to me, you said, right, Robert, I need I'm going to be doing rent to rents. My next year, my aim is to get 5 rent to rents. I've got this one that I have found. And I've got the time to go into it, because with all this stuff, like I've got 2 pages of notes of that deal you made, which make me think that seems like a good deal and kind of worth the risk going on. But then I've got counterparty risk with another person. Yeah. And also, one rent to rent, you've got 6 months get out clause. Why? Because it may not work. And so that's why you have the 6 months get out clause. But if you say, I'm going to do 5 rent to rent, so I need to start a company, what I've got is I can find the deals, and I can run the essays. I've got the contacts. I can put the work in. What I don't have is maybe the finance, and then maybe maybe some business support. You could say, can you invest in? I'm going to start a company to do this. Can you invest in that company? And say it's kind of similar to what you might already be doing with Charlie. So you might already have this with someone else. Yeah. But if you said that to me, that's quite interesting, because one, it's a little bit more risk than me than I if I give you some money, you give us some money back. It's more. There's more risk because I'd be kind of giving you the money as you need it, because it's sitting in my bank account. Well, I can make sure it's available for you when you need it, and then you can pay the cost of it when you get it. But we could do
almost like a running, as needed kind of loan.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm thinking of. Is maybe, and if we imagine Charlie's not that, it's just you finding deals. We could do a JV. I could put in money when it's needed, and this is rent to rents, so it won't be too much. It's not like when I'm looking at buying a property in Nottingham. This is like 5k to kind of the setup. I can back that. Now we won't know what those costs are. We know roughly the amount, but we don't know kind of exactly. But we can say we can set up a company together. We have 2 years, and we want 5 rent to rents in this company, because the fact the number's 5 rent to rents means the first one might have the 6 month breakout clause. And it's like, yeah, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But we never know. Even Samuel says you should have that. But if I said to you, I invest in you for 5 rent to rents, and over those 5, will all 5 fail? It's like there's no way that we would work together and have 5 rent to rents which would all fail. So that gives me confidence to then say I might be 5k down on the first one, but it'll be us in a company together. So that's something which I would seriously consider investing in that. Okay. Mainly because you invited me to be Lewisham in the Circle leader. You kind of started that yourself. We didn't start the group, but you're almost the head leader, if you see. I mean, you're the most senior leader. You want to talk, just you kind of sort it out. Yeah. And so I kind of know that you will be successful, and the fact that I kind of can, like, maybe we could do a JV. I also, from my point of view as an investor, and I know because I'm recording this, and maybe some people in the academy will watch it because people will pitch me. I kind of joined the academy because I don't want to just go into invest some money in this company, like in stock market, invest the money. I realise I like to have control, and if I gave you 10k and lost 10k, I'd feel bad. If we JV together and I put in 10k and lost 10k, I wouldn't feel so bad. It's funny. It's the same number, but because I've kind of got control and I've kind of gone as part of it. So I think for me, and I kind of come to where I'm at with the pitch that you gave me, I think mainly because it's a JV with Charlie, I think I'm going to have to pass up on doing that loan. I think you've got, the deal's good, it's definitely something you should be working on, and I think maybe consider not taking out a whole loan, maybe consider not just your next one that you're going to do, because you've sold a deal. You've made more money in the academy than I have. So you've sold a deal and you've got that track record. You can find that. Maybe consider why is Charlie here? Not that, because he's kind of good. And I have this problem, which is confidence in that. And are you confident in finding a good deal? Well, you found one, you sold one, and when you go and find the numbers, you'll find that one's good.
Yeah.
Can you find more? And if you were doing that, if you came and proposed to me, look, Robert, I actually need some cash to kind of start my company. Can we talk about a JV where we kind of work together over 5 potentials going in, and there will have to be some kind of exit. I am kind of proposing to you something that you may already have with Charlie, and you might go back to him, and he's in a different position. He might be in a position to do so, but he's already running, like, he's got 4 JVs. I've spoken to him because I've showed him my flat. My flat isn't quite suitable for rent to rent, but I've spoken to him about taking it on. So I know he's good. He's got those numbers.
Yeah.
So that's my.
The reason I mentioned Charlie and brought him into the equation is I understand where you're coming from. There is the third-party risk involved as well, because now there's this other person. But I thought it would be more reassuring to you that I am working with someone that is a bit more experienced than myself, because I will, as you know, I am a full-time doctor. So I thought sometimes, and not sometimes, there will be many times where I'll just get so busy.
These 2 pages of notes I've got on the deal. When you were halfway through that, I was thinking, he knows what he's talking about with the deal, and you've sold a deal, and you don't have the numbers for that. Maybe you can get the numbers back. So if you came to me and said, I've got a good rent, it's not like some people from the academy never seen a rent to rent. They come in. But you did prove, and you did prove that. And Charlie as well. I know Charlie's running good rent to rent. So I know he's making money on his rent to rent. So it didn't. I'm not saying that it's the risk isn't that the deal's not good. The risk is when you do a JV with someone, it's a bit like getting married. In fact, it's almost worse than getting married, because you're all your finances together, you're pushing in. And you've got to think about exits, things about because if we have a proposal where I put money in, you get 5 rent to rents in 2 years' time. I put my money in, the company's making enough money, it doesn't need any more money for me. I'm taking money out, and you're running the rent to rents, and you're thinking, why am I doing all this work and Robert's taking half the money? So you have to think about stuff like that. So there's a lot more moving parts with the JV, and that's why whenever I've ended up talking about JVs in the academy, I've kind of shied away from them because of that kind of, you've got to get to know, you've got to know how, it's not just knowing the other person, but when you marry someone, you've got to know what they're like with money, what are they like running a business. And that's the other thing. So if we were to do something like this, I'd want to work out what I put in and what you put in. I'd really love running a bit and doing the listings. I think I'd do really well at that. Doing the listings, but that's stuff that he said Charlie's doing. So that's the kind of thing which I think about. And also, I think you did discuss exit, which wasn't kind of, you haven't decided. Because the other thing about the pitch, if you're pitching me just for a loan, then I don't necessarily need to know about the deal. What I need to know is about your financial stability and whether you'll pay me back, because it's just a loan. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a great deal or a bad deal. If you're a doctor, you don't want to become bankrupt. I'm going to have recourse to it. Now, of course, I want to know that you'll be successful, but I don't need to know in the detail. It's if I was doing a JV where where then that deal becomes more important. And in that case, the value of this deal is proving that you can find a good deal from this kind of quality. Do you think you could find a deal like this?
Yes, I don't have any problem finding deals.
Yeah.
I mean, that agent I mentioned, and I've got another agent in Orpington who is very pro company-led, and they send me leads all the time. I just haven't been able to find one until recently with Charlie, one where the numbers actually stack.
That you contradicted yourself, because I can find lots of deals from agents for buying properties where I lose money. Like, that's the thing. It's the deals with the numbers stack.
No. I mean, what I meant, like, there are lots of leads. Like, I don't have any problems looking for them. But it's obviously, like, if I look at 10 different leads and I do like all of their viewings, like one of them might stack.
Yeah.
And but I don't have any problems actually going for and looking for deals.
Yeah.
And finding the right ones.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we've half an hour and we cut halfway through. So it's
Okay.
about 20 minutes. But that's weak. I think I'm going to stop the recording there.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk more. And obviously, I think it's a no for the investment. But you know, we're both in the academy. One of the things I really like about the academy is that we all help each other out.
Yeah, of course.
If you need anything, we'll kind of I'll help you. The investment, it wasn't there mainly because you kind of pitched it at that. I think for that investment again, I kind of, as an investor, want to be pitched from my point of view, almost say, like for instance, do you want to make 12% return on your money? It's a great way to start the thing, because it's more thinking about from the investor's point of view. Like I need to know what am I going to make? What's the risk that I'm going to do? What could happen? That's where I'm at. Because I'm in the academy, it's really great that I can hear about this deal, because I'm actually interested in maybe a JV. But you'll have lots of options.
Okay.
Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much for hearing me out. And thank you for the feedback. I think there's a lot of thinking for me to do there. As you know, I've never done this before. So it's
and
a
also,
different kind of fish.
You subscribe to my YouTube channel, so
I did.
I think I'll do a separate outro for it. But cool. So this is the outro. That was quite a long pitch and very, very detailed. I hope it's given you a good impression as to what it's like in being in the academy and giving and receiving the pitches. Stay tuned to the YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting more property content, more of my story, more of what I'm getting on with in Nottingham. I have been continuing conversations with Min, and let's see how it goes. Anyway, stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you next time.